Okay, so I just want to speak really quickly. I just got back from the coffee shop, and it's Sunday. I probably maybe want to do something spiritual, But I had a class earlier today, and I had a private lesson after that class. And I just wanted to talk really quickly because I want to share my different 6 Act 1 goals and then start talking about those. Then I've got Act 2 goals as well, but Act 1, like all around me, I have a physics model as it relates to the lift and drag forces of my life as a black girl slash woman. And my science brain has started to come back online with a lot of the counseling that I'm doing to reclaim my body. And I need to do something with modeling next, but it'll be nice to take a break and breathe first before jumping into something now that I just got back. So I want to talk about the different examples in which I am facing the fact that there is a real deep-seated misogyny in Nigerian culture. And this is something that I was lucky to grow up away from. I was isolated, so I didn't have to call these ninjas. I didn't have to do anything. These crazy ass ninjas. Okay? So I'm going to give 3 examples. These are going to be people I'm related to, genetically related to. And the fact that I saw them more than I'd ever seen them over the course of my life as my mother was dying, that actually is proof of the sickness of the system that I belong to, and also proof of misogyny that you will show up for a sibling who is a girl child only as she's sick and dying. You help her more in her life than ever when she's sick, before we know that it's the latest stage. So I just want to talk about that for a moment because I haven't gotten to this part in blogging yet, and it's been some time, so it's finally starting to form words. The first thing I want to share is, I had a relative. I'll start with the one that helped out a lot, and they are a liver transplant surgeon, okay? And it's pretty exceptional, right? And I remember in Atlanta when I had won 3rd place in a medical terminology spelling bee, and they were also in the city of Atlanta working at Grady Memorial Hospital. And there's like no real knowledge about me or my siblings or anything. No connection. I was only 10 years old, and this is when the Olympics came to Atlanta in 1996. So you can do the math for my age very easily. Nothing. We lived in the same city for many years, I think. Nothing. And there's even something else I could say, but I'm not going to say it right here. Then my mom's sick. Oh, helping. So much. After our body's compromised, probably from growing up in this really fucked up family system as a girl child. Because as we know, girls' bodies tend to give out because we do not have the privilege to externalize our trauma and our pain. And especially if we have trauma on top of the pain, it's just really messed up. And then I think you can have mental issues too, but I've observed that boys can externalize their pain and can hurt others to account for the pain that they experience. But that doesn't stop you from developing mental issues, right? So girls can develop mental issues, and our bodies give out more easily because we don't have an outlet. Our bodies are our outlet for others' harm towards us, because society doesn't give us as much privilege to be able to, hurt somebody to make ourselves feel better. But boys will have mental issues. Suicidal, I don't know. I think it works out and it makes perfect sense to me. So, for my mom to get sick and us to witness firsthand this almost as if the patriarchal structure that was always a ghost variable finally showed its face. And how do I know it's a ghost variable? It will show up when my mother struggles to help me with periods and puberty, bras, breasts. And meanwhile, she also has another sibling that's a gynecologist in London. And she had me read an article that she wrote, not an article, more like a piece of her book or a journal entry or something. She'd been working on a book before she passed away, but she also liked to write, I think, her feelings. If I know, I need to still know more about my mom. And he called her a whore. You're a gynecologist and you call your sister a whore. So that's a pure example of misogyny within a patriarchal structure that affords boys the privilege to even study the bodies of girls. And the girl doesn't even know how to study her own body or have access to her own body to know this is what my body functions as, this is what's happening when I have a period, this is how I need to help my daughter when she's having a period. This is how my mother's mother probably didn't help her either, and my mother's mother's mother. I'm sure this is a pattern. Our lack of education or our lack of being able to articulate our feminine form. So it comes out in ways of my mom talking about how she doesn't like tradition. Okay, and then I'll give the third example. I have another uncle, so these are all three of her brothers. And meanwhile, the other girl child, she's a head nurse. Why isn't she a surgeon? Why isn't she a gynecologist? So you see the level of the profession along gendered lines. Pure misogyny, okay? Now, of course, even if the person wants to be a head nurse, with all of these variables at play and the different things I've said, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's like being the child of incarcerated parents and not wanting to go. Thinking college is just not for you. There's links related to this that if you don't face what those connections are, the connection, the correlation still will continue to exist. And I think it's similar concept, okay? So this relative was at my mom's funeral, right? And again, I think it was a subconscious assertion of the maleness. And they had asked me where I went to college, and I was 32 at this time, and I graduated college at 23. So the fact that this ninja did not know where I went to college, and it's 9 years later, and he's asking while my mom, we're about to put her in the grave. Like, is that not just sick? Okay? Number one. And of course, right, I say this, right, but this is the shit that's inside of me. So I say that knowing that I can't extract myself from what I am, right? But I also know that within my femininity and starting to articulate it, it means that I do not have the ability to play the game in the same way. And I am extracted in a certain way because of that. So it's interesting. They asked if I had to go to Howard University, and they are a math professor at a school that is a Research 2 institution. And Howard is a Research 1 institution. And the school that they teach at, even they have a PhD in mathematics, right? And I love math. They do not know I like math, thank God. And this system is probably best that people don't actually know things that you have a skill for, especially if they're things that are dominated by males. I am glad they don't know I did physics, chemistry, biology honors, calculus honors. Of course, those aren't the AP BC classes, and I wish I had done that level. I kind of grieve for that. But, like, it's probably good when you live in a system like this that people don't know things about you. So, you know, it's good that they don't know. But I'm just saying that to question that, and within the reality of your sister being laid to rest in that same moment, I mean, that's also pretty sick to me. And also, this is the same relative who still continued to talk to my father after I shared that he had abused me when I was younger. And so these are examples. This is for this relative who got mad when I like sent back a gift or something, but this is precisely why my intuition picked up on the fact of there's stuff here that's not being told. I picked up on the fact of ghost variables when I was 24, before I had like my mental break and dissociation and crazy things. Yeah, so I was right. Right, 9 years later, there's validation for what I felt when I was a lot younger, right? So that's all I want to say. I want to give these examples because I'm still very angry about it, because I did not realize that this is what my mom was connected to. And I'm sorry that she had to deal with this really, really unhealthy dynamic with people that she's related to. And that this is part of, I know this is a good part of why she did not have mirrors to look to achieve her goals in the United States, which defaulted to male accomplishment for a girl child immigrating. So yeah. And I want to be able to talk also about, like I say, my ADOS heritage as well. So I will hopefully be able to address everything equally, So that's it. Yeah. And last thing, I was listening to music from the time I was growing up, and I don't know if like I kind of like country music now. not like not like just specifically from the time period that I went to the school where it was more prevalent. And it's just sometimes it's funny how I will pick up the experiences of others because of the fact that I grew up in isolation. I think I was able to wear other groups' identities a little bit easier. I think if I only had my identities more pronounced, I probably wouldn't be able to take on others as easily as I think sometimes. So anyway, and that's not even the only music. Like I was just listening to that because I guess it reminded me of an experience in Georgia. Then there's another one with more R&B music. Then there's another one with, now I start to listen to Nigerian music. That also didn't get transferred, so I'm guessing this is part of the trauma my mother was running from and not transferring her heritage. And I haven't even talked about the trauma that my parents have experienced, and in a respectful way. But if we really look at this in a way that's like physics, the first law of thermodynamics says that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, right? So say there are things that happen, or that a parent experiences, and it's never talked about, never addressed, and it's just secrecy, or it's so bad that it just never really gets addressed and people just get on with life. But that energy still remains. It's not going to just go away. It's not going to just dissipate. So this energy cannot be destroyed, and I guess it wasn't created, right? But it can't be destroyed. So what happens is you become next in line to wear it. It's an energy transfer. And so because this energy now belongs to me, and especially because there was no aerating of it out through counseling, or, a lot of times if you are a Black person, ninjas just don't have resources for mental health until recently. And yeah. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do if it's like pre-civil rights Deep South? Or if it's colonial Nigeria? Like, what are you really going to do? So, yeah. That's all I want to say. All right, let me go ahead and get to the part that I need. I didn't get any places contacting me back for boutiques for modeling. One place, actually. But not like in the positive way, just saying that they weren't looking for people right now. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do, and I'm working now on another photo shoot idea for 90s music and 90s, supermodels. I'm just really sucks because when I had this idea years ago, I really had Naomi and Tyra as like the main ones for 90s supermodels, for black girls being the main ones. And then I also had Alec Weck, right? Suited, like, obviously for I had different black girls, but those will be the main three. But because of like the Epstein files and what's happened with Top Model, I had to figure out how to deal with it, because I really still just remember the photos that I wanted to be inspired by. Oh, I had to figure that part out, because yeah. Okay, all right, let me go now. All right, I've been speaking for about 16 minutes. I'm still gonna upload it as such. And excuse my anger, like, but I'm actually angry. I'm angry that this is really what I am connected to. It really sucks. That's all. All right. And yeah, I should also, I don't know. I feel bad too, because like, am I painting people badly or what? But these are experiences that really speak to that energy that can cause illness. Not to mention that there's more I could say, but that's all I want to say, because I don't want to indict the situation any more than it indicts itself, okay? And also I have to like let it out, because this is, yeah, okay. All right.